Yeah, Calico games, we're the lucky ones.
Throughout the 80s and 90s, Nintendo seemed like it was going to rule the world. Between the Nintendo Entertainment System,
Will it be you?
the Super Nintendo, and the Game Boy, it seemed like Nintendo was unstoppable. But what was next? Enter the Virtual Boy. It's been 30 years since the launch of the Virtual Boy. So, what went wrong? In the beginning, there was the Sword of Damocles. Ivan Sutherland, the inventor. My little contribution to virtual reality was to realize we didn't need a camera. We could substitute it with a computer. However, in those days, no computer was powerful enough to do the job, so we had to build special equipment. In a 2024 interview, Ivan Sutherland admitted that he had been funded over $80,000 by the CIA. In today's money, that's over $870,000. I told you, Trevor, I'm not crazy. Everything is funded by the CIA. The heads-up display allows soldiers to receive real-time information and data on the ground without having to look down at a map. Hence the expression heads-up display. This later would make one of the coolest features in all of gaming. Thanks, military! 2 decades later, Alan Becker would establish reflection technology. Deciding to use their recently invented scanner technology, they were able to create a very small display that had high resolution. One device that is criminally left behind in the history of this product is the Twiddler. It was a handheld keyboard that would allow you to interface with your data and information. Enter Steve Lipsy, who helped Reflection Technology market these products to consumers. They had the idea of creating a personalized fax viewer. Some of you may have seen this product floating around in your grandparents' old electronics boxes. Reflection Technology knew that this product had more potential than just a fax viewer, and they wanted to break into the game space. So they specifically targeted Gunpei Yokoi because they liked his concept of lateral thinking with withered technology. They knew he was exactly the guy that needed to see their demo. Ben Wells, Reflection Technology's chief scientist, wrote, "The whole point of the tank demo was to demonstrate head tracking. As you turned your head to the right, what you saw moved by a corresponding amount. But if you introduced a perceptible delay between your head's movement and the view on the screen, the display could induce motion sickness. If memory serves me, we were always on the too slow side of the vomit point. I don't recall anybody literally throwing up in the office, but I think we were lucky." And the demonstration blew Gunpei Yokoi's socks off. Just before the launch of the Virtual Boy, the Japanese government released the PLA, putting heavy restrictions on what kind of warnings needed to be placed on packages, otherwise you'd be open up to legal liability. Because of this, Nintendo had to add extra metal plating over the microchip processor inside of the Virtual Boy headset to prevent EMF radiation from affecting small children's brains. This was overkill and a handy excuse to steamroll Gunpei Yokoi's design ideas. This was the real reason that Gunpei Yokoi left Nintendo. In 1996, Gunpei Yokoi left Nintendo to start Koto Laboratories. He started it with the intention of creating similar technologies that were going to be left behind by Nintendo. One of them specifically was the Wonder Swan. He never got to see the success of the Wonder Swan, but the cult following today is quite feverish. Gunpei Yokoi passed away on the 4th of October, 1997. I wanted to point out that the man in the background here is making a point for me. The issue with the Virtual Boy was not particularly eye strain, but the posture that it forced you into. The body has to unnaturally bend forward and compress your head against the back of your neck. This strains the backs of your eyes, your jawline, and your neck, and forces your spine out of alignment. Far from being bad for your eyes, the Virtual Boy was in fact pretty good for them, but we didn't have time to properly present these findings, so we gave up trying to include them with the product. So what went wrong? I posit that the lack of head strap was the biggest issue with this product. Every time you move slightly, you fall out of alignment with the lenses. But if it was strapped to your head like it was in the prototype, you would have been able to easily use head tracking, and you would have been able to maintain perfect alignment the entire time you had the headset on. This was the Gunpei Yokoi concept prototype. This is how I believe it would have been stored. So after careful assessment, what do we think of our back and neck alignment?
It stinks.
All right, let me get your honest impression. You've been playing it for a few minutes now. What are you thinking?
Honestly, not bad. It feels like decent, but like the neck part is true. It does hurt your neck leaning down like this.
So it's more a posture thing than it is an eye thing, right?
Yeah, honestly.
So I'm right again. Nice.
Instead of standing up straight, you have to bend over and then compress your neck and tilt it up, meaning you're straining the backs of your eyes, your neck, your jaw, and your spine instead of standing up straight. The scare was out. People had said that this would destroy your eyes, that you would laser your eyes out. The reputation that this product had spread like wildfire, and no amount of marketing or media help was going to save it. I think it's possible that this product was designed to intentionally fail against Gunpei Yokoi's wishes. But don't worry, I'll have a separate video elaborating my conspiracy theory on that later. So now that the Virtual Boy is 30 years old, homebrewers, collectors, and technology enthusiasts alike are starting to gobble these things up. So what went wrong? Not just the head strap, but it was also a marketing flop. With a marketing plan boasting $25 million, and in 9 months, the Virtual Boy had sold 770,000 units and had undergone several price drops along the way. Sega Saturn in its first calendar year only reached about 235,000 units, and the Sony PlayStation 1 only hit about 645,000 units. They had pre-sold 500,000 units to Blockbuster. They were basically giving you a free rental in the comfort of your own home to find out if you wanted to purchase one or not.
From Blockbuster Video, Nintendo, and NBC, it's the must-see 3D sweepstakes. Your chance to rent the new Virtual Boy at Buster Video and win. Hollywood dream trips to NBC shows, free Virtual Boy systems, and thousands of prizes. Rent Virtual Boy now and receive a special $10 coupon. Enter the must-see 3D sweepstakes at Blockbuster Video.
The computer is not only a working tool, it also is an entertainment device. This is especially known to and used by the youth. The generation of Nintendo kids mastered lightning-fast responses to ever-new pictures collapsing into them. What is exciting today is won, hands down tomorrow. So the computer kids are always looking for new challenges. The industry responds. New games require players to solve problems in complex virtual worlds. Man has always liked playing and passing adventures. This took time, he needed space, and he needed other players. But the new games are short, they require minimal space, and are being played alone. The 3 largest suppliers of computer games are based in Japan, where the need of virtual reality is huge. Because where many people live in cramped conditions, you have to create more space in your head. The Virtual Boy consists of viewer and controller. A complex structure of light-emitting diodes, lenses, and moving mirrors provides an incredibly sharp, 3-dimensional image. Here, the player travels through a 3-dimensional maze at 100,000 miles an hour. The development of this type of game has taken over 3 years. After the Game Boy, it is regarded as the latest milestone in the development of interactive gaming. It's no longer about reacting reflexively, collecting, or shooting, even blocking. The goal is to make games perceptible by the senses. Gunpei Yokoi. Games in particular fully utilize all technical possibilities of their time. 10 years ago, I was asked what a game would look like in 1995. Without knowing how far electronics would be, I accurately described the Virtual Boy as an independent unit that takes their user into a different world, as a thing with which one can actively experience practically everything, regardless of time and space. Characters from sports and entertainment are directed by the player, who slips into their roles. I forgot my statement again today. In Japan alone, I've sold as much as 5 million pieces of my vision from back then.
It came from the third dimension, with its own brain, its own voice, its own legs. There's only one problem. It needs your eyes. Virtual Boy. See it now in 3D.
Alright, today we have a special treat, something I didn't actually think I was going to get my hands on. I thought I was only going to get to play with this Virtual Boy, which is really nice, super minty, super beautiful, and we have this little adapter for it. But I got told at the last minute we had a complete in-box Virtual Boy, so I got super excited. I was like, we have to do an unboxing. And so here it is. It is in very good condition, front and back. It looks fantastic. It does have a little bit of wear at the corners, but it is 30 years old now. This one has been priced down to $59.99, which was, I think, the third wave of price cuts. So this one made it all the way to the floor of Blockbuster. Let's go ahead and take a quick look inside this thing. All right, open it up and let's see. Oops, little cardboard piggybacking here. Right off the bat, it says on top, get 6 free Duracell batteries. Just register this product by calling this phone number. You know, I don't really know if you can actually redeem this anymore or not, but hey, give a call to the phone number, see what happens. You never know. You might get lucky. If you get some free batteries, good on you. We have this little folder here. It's filled with, like, looks like marketing materials. Let's take a quick peek. Okay, it's the Mario Tennis manual for the game, which is also the pack-in title right here. Pretty cool. Anytime you get a game, it usually would come with a consumer product information. I think this is a result of the PLA, so go ahead and kind of keep that off to the side. We have some other little marketing materials and a piece from Duracell batteries. This is a reply by mail, no postage necessary. So if you get your hands on this, you may be lucky enough to get 6 free Duracell batteries. I don't know if that's an incentive for somebody to make a purchase here, but it is definitely a good deal. And then also the Virtual Boy manual, pretty amazing. I will flip through this thing so you guys can take a look at all the cool stuff that's inside of it. Let's take a look at the actual meat and potatoes here. We have the actual headset. It's still got the cardboard cover over the eye shade, which means it's probably not been corroded or decayed. Actually has the new, it does actually have a new system smell. It smells pretty good. And we have the controller. The controller is actually how you powered the system. Sometimes people will come into the store with just the headset and they'll say, hey man, I don't think this thing works, it's broken. It's not really necessarily broken. You just have to have a controller also. The controller has a pack on the back of it. We have Boba Fett holding that one there. So this pack can slide off the back and it holds 6 AA batteries and it can be replaced with the one that plugs into the wall. So pretty cool. Packed in. This one is in like pristine condition. It's still got super old rubber bands on it even, so that's pretty neat also. Alright, let's put that back in here. Oh yeah, and last but not least, we have the dastardly stand, which I believe was the reason that this thing failed. They packed it with the stand, not a head strap, which I think was the death nail in this system. People kind of got word very quickly. This was extremely uncomfortable. Everyone got head and neck pain pretty much immediately from playing it because nobody likes putting their head in this weird angle. And there you go. This is the complete in-box Virtual Boy. Let's take a look at this thing.
Let's take a look at the cartridge for the Virtual Boy. This is the front, and this is the back. Here is a view from the bottom on how the cartridge is inserted. So we have the cartridge slot, the controller port, the game link socket, the volume dial, and the headphone jack. These are the features on the bottom of the Virtual Boy headset. As you can see, it was already wired for headphones. A large amount of weight could have been reduced by removing the speakers and just leaving a headphone jack. This would have made the product significantly lighter, easier to wear, and solved a large part of the discomfort and pain problems. This is the backside of the controller. You have the L and R shoulder buttons used in games like Teleroboxer. And it also contains the battery pack, which is the main power source for the entire unit. The battery pack opens to reveal 6 AA batteries. The top view of the Virtual Boy is very simple. It has the focus slider, which you want to be very mindful of, and the IPD, the interpupil distance dial. There is a cartridge cover holder, but nobody ever uses that. The side view has the gigantic speakers and the eye shade. If you've adjusted the focus slider and it's still not working and your eyes are really sore, you might need to check to see if it's misaligned. Here is the process to check to see if your unit is misaligned. Turn on your Virtual Boy and go to the main title screen of any game and hit left, B, down, A, up, and that will get you to a screen that looks like this. This is the misalignment screen. You want the 2 vertical lines to be intersected by the horizontal line. If the lines don't intersect and it looks like this, you need to go to an expert repair person that specializes in retro equipment. I scoured the internet so I could put together for you a small sample of every commercially released Virtual Boy game available. The Virtual Boy may have died 30 years ago, but our friends over at Planet Virtual Boy did not get the memo. Do yourself a favor and go to Planet Virtual Boy. They have a huge homebrewing community with tons of games that are available. They have development tools and hardware to get you started. They have homebrewing and hardware development still to this very day. Check them out. They're a great community. Lots of great resources and information can be found with them. Titles like Street Fighter and Faceball finally make their way to the Virtual Boy thanks to the homebrewing community that has not forgotten about this system. Check out Calico Games at any one of our 4 locations in Southern California.
Dog tags and trophies. Every battle we climb in the zones on time. We're Calico Games. We're the lucky ones. Yeah, Calico Games. We're the lucky ones. We're Calico Games. We're the lucky ones. Yeah, Calico Games.
And don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and follow.